Would you like to learn how to make the thickest tomato sauce? Keep watching this video. We're going to get right into it. Yes, I said the thickest tomato sauce I personally have ever made. Hi everyone, my name is Chris. Welcome back to Gardening at the Simongetti North. And today I am going to oven roast my Romas from my garden. And that is the key to this thick sauce. So it also helps with peeling getting the skins off a lot easier instead of blanching them. And then you get that roasted flavor. It's a more depth flavor. So let's go in the Simongetti kitchen and let's can up some roasted garden tomato sauce. Here are some of my Romas in the sink from the garden. I'm getting them washed up and prepare them to be roasted in the oven. So here I have 2 trays of Roma tomatoes. Some are Romas, some are San Marzanos, and some are a super sauce like this one here and that one there. They're the bigger ones. They're a hybrid from Burpee. They're supposed to be less seeds and up to 1 pound fruits. But yeah, so I'm going to put these in the oven at 425 for 40 minutes and then bring them out to cool, and then we'll see how the skins come off. Heather showed on her video that they come off real easy, and hey, this will be a game changer if I don't have to sit there and blanch all these, especially these tomatoes, because there's so many of them, to be able to make sauce, and just more time consuming than like canning tomatoes where, they're not as bad to blanch because they're bigger and you can get them done quicker. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these in the oven, and then I'll bring you back and show you what they look like once they're done. And then I have multiple more trays after this. So I'm not sure how many trays I'm going to get out of it, but once they cool and I peel the skins off, then I'm going to put them in a stock pot and let them simmer for a while. So, be back in a little bit. Here are the tomatoes out of the oven. You can see they got a little charness to them a little bit, so they look roasted. So we're just gonna let them cool a little bit, and I have a plate there in the back. I'm collecting the skins, and I'm going to attempt to dehydrate the skins. I do have a dehydrator, an Excalibur that I have never used yet, and this year's the year. We are going to use that this year. So let's just take a look and see how these skins, oh, look at that. Just kind of shake it off a little. Look how easy these come off. These big ones here are the super sauce tomatoes. Let's see. Ooh, they're hot. They're still a little hot, so you might want to let them cool a little bit first. They have been out of the oven for a couple minutes, but some of these are just so easy just to peel off instead of blanching them. And I believe Heather said that these will give the sauce a better thickness and flavor. So I am anxious to try that. I thank Heather for putting this video out last year for roasting Romas for canning sauce, because this is definitely a game changer to, that one's stuck, to get a knife or something. But this is definitely a game changer, for taking these skins off. They're just, it's easy. All right, so I'm gonna, go ahead and finish taking those off, and I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, after the skins are off, I just scoop them off the tray and stick them in the stock pot where I'm going to go ahead and let the sauce simmer for a few hours. And then start the next tray to put in the oven. So these are 4 trays of Roma tomatoes so far. Romas, a combination of Romas, San Marzanos, and super sauce. All right, so we're gonna keep filling this stock pot up until all the tomatoes are out of my sink. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other Romas in the oven, and we'll be back when we start simmering the sauce. Okay, so we started the tomato sauce process yesterday, and I let it stew on the stove for a few hours, and now I let it cool, put it in the fridge, let it stew again, cooking down, and I'd turn it off because I don't want to burn it because I got other projects going on. So then I'd turn it back on. So now the next step is to puree it. I have my immersion blender, and we're going to go ahead and grind this up. All right, this, I'm gonna go get a spoon and we'll see how it looks. It's looking really good, holy cow. Wow, look at that. All right, it says to put it back on the stove and let it cook down a little bit more, but I think we're gonna be ready to can this up soon. It's looking really good. It smells really good too. Just making the house smell like tomato sauce through the house last night. So, I'm not sure how many, I'm gonna do pints, wide mouth jars. I'm not sure how many I'm gonna get. I got them in the sink right now, getting them washed in hot soapy water. So we're getting ready to can this up. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on the stove and let it simmer a little bit more, and we'll be back when we're ready to can it up. All right, I got my jars getting sterilized. I think once those are sterilized, the sauce is ready. Look how thick that is. We're just simmering, and yeah, we'll be back when it's time to jar it up. So I will be canning the sauce following the Ball Blue Book 38th edition right here, and it starts here, and then we're at the fill. I got water stains on my book already. So add a 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid or 1 tablespoon of bottled lemon juice to pint jars. So I usually do lemon juice, but I got some food grade citric acid, and we're gonna try that instead. And then we're going to ladle the hot sauce into the jars, leaving a 1/2 inch headspace. Remove the bubbles, clean the rim, center the lid, and then place the jar on the rack and boiling a water canner with simmering water for 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Repeat, all jars are filled. So then we're gonna process the jars. So to process, it says water must cover jars by 1 inch. Adjust heat to medium high, cover canner and bring water to a rolling boil. Process pints jars for 35 minutes or quarts for 40 minutes, adjusting for altitude, see page 9. Turn off heat, remove the cover, let jars cool for 5 minutes, remove jars from the canner. Do not retighten the bands if loose. Cool for 12 hours, check for seals, and label and store the jars, and also clean the jars. So I am going to go get my jars because I think they're sterilized now, and bring the tomato sauce here and jar it up. Okay, here's the sauce. Doesn't that look scrumptious? And then I got 7 jars sterilized. And then there's my pure citric acid. All right, let's jar it up. 1/2 inch headspace. Remember, that's the second line on the jar. I have 10 jars clean. I'm not really sure how much I'm going to actually get. All right, we'll add this right now. The 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid. And then we'll debubble, stir that in. So, I don't know, I've used the lemon juice. I didn't notice the lemon, but now maybe using the citric acid, maybe I'll notice that there was some lemon flavor in there, but we'll see. This is cool. I don't think I've ever made sauce this thick. And this is a water bath can, so if you don't know how to pressure can, you can water bath can this. Oops, gotta get my lids. Okay. Lid, fingertip tight. All right, we've got 7 pints. So we'll be able to process all of this at once. So 7 pints, and the pints are 35 minutes in the processor. So let me go get these in the canner. Okay, as you can see, I've got all 7 pints in the canner. Let me set you down for a second so I can drop the canning rack into the water without too much issues. Okay, so we're already getting to a boil. Let me put the lid on and get us to a rapid boil, and then I will set the timer for 35 minutes. And yes, I'm using a pressure canner as my water bath canner because I need the other pot for the 40 pounds of tomatoes I'm going to process tomorrow. I think I'm just doing like a stewed tomato, just plain, you know, kind of more like diced tomatoes type of thing. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Let's take a peek, check out our boiling. It's boiling. Keep the cover on. Timer for 35 minutes. See you in 35 minutes when these are done. So all 7 pints are now processed. I am going to let them cool for about 12 hours and check for, you know, make sure they sealed. I've already heard about 3 pings so far. We need about 4 more. And then if, you know, you have one that doesn't seal, you can reprocess it before 24 hours or put it in the refrigerator and use it, you know, within the next couple of days. But yeah, I have to say, this is the absolute best way to make a thick sauce. And to put them in the oven, to oven roast them, to give it that even more depth flavor. And it's easier to get the skins off, and you don't have to boil them. And then those skins I'm using in my dehydrator right now to make roasted tomato powder, you know, to use in stews or chilies or whatever. And yeah, I definitely got to thank Heather for, you know, helping me up my game in canning. I've been like a canning queen these last couple of weeks. And yeah, I've never made a thicker sauce than this sauce today. So I definitely recommend that you try it this way. You know, roast your aromas in the oven, peel your skins off, put them in a pot. You can also do the crock pot, but I didn't think my crock pot was going to hold that many tomato, you know, that much tomato sauce. I think I need to invest in a bigger crock pot so then I can do that, and then it could simmer all night long. But I just did it on the stove for a few hours, you know, and kept an eye on it, and then turned it off, let it cool, put it in the fridge, and then started that warming process again, and then, you know, we pureed it, and here we are. 7 pints of roasted tomato deliciousness. So if you like this video, please smash that like button and share this video with anyone who might be interested in learning how to make this awesome roasted tomato sauce. All of these tomatoes that are in these jars are from the garden. So this is actually a roasted garden tomato sauce. So I usually call it garden if all of the ingredients came from my garden. So this will be a garden sauce, so I know that it actually came from my garden. But hey, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you did. And if you haven't become a Simongetti subscriber, please become a Simongetti subscriber today. Live, love, laugh, and garden. Hope to see you at the next video. God bless. Happy canning. Bye.